गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are beginning with chapter 1 of Pancadasi. Pancadasi means 15, Pancha 5, Dasha means 10, 5 plus 10 is equal to 15, and this is a text in which a sequence of 5, 5, 5 and 3 times 5 chapters are there. The first 5 chapters deal with the existence aspect of the reality. The second 5 chapters, that is 5 to 10, they deal with the consciousness aspect of the reality. And the last 5 chapters deal with the bliss aspect of the reality. Sat, Chit, Anand. And just like in Bhagavad Gita, the first 6 chapters are about Sat, first 6 chapters about karma, then it is about devotion, and the last 6 are about knowledge. This text is, the purpose of this text is so that through logic, through analysis, our attention again and again is brought to the substratum, and that's the only purpose. What could be the possible questions, what could be the possible hiccups in our thinking, they are addressed. And therefore these 15 chapters, they take us from different angles. The first chapter is Tattva Vivek. Discriminate, how do you discriminate the substratum from everything else? Then next one is Panchakosha Vivek. Panchakosha Vivek means Panchabhuta Vivek, means how to discriminate the 5 elements, space, air, fire, water, earth, and come to the reality. Then the next chapter is Panchakosha Vivek, how to discriminate the 5 sheaths and come to the reality. Then is Dvaita Vivek, how do you understand duality, how do you analyze duality so that you come to the reality. And the last one in this one is Mahavakya Vivek, and that is how do you discriminate when the Mahavakyas, the main 4 Mahavakyas, Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnanam Brahma, Tattvamasi and I am Atma Brahma. The 4 Mahavakyas are there. How do you think, contemplate on them, in which way our mind must approach these statements of truth so that we come to the right conclusion. Right conclusion is not in the head. Right conclusion is when the mind vanishes. Right conclusion is where there is a knowledge-free experience, a thought-free experience, and that is equal to wisdom. That is equal to your abiding in the truth. So towards this whole contemplation is there, and so the first chapter is titled Tattva Viveka, that is differentiation of the real principle. How do you differentiate the real principle from the unreal? That is what it is. So how do we think about it so that we come to abide in the real principle? Here it was told that tat means that and tva means ness. Tattva vivek. Tat is that and tva is the ness. So thatness. So discrimination of thatness in that manner. And in this way, what is this tattva? This tattva, this essence, this substratum, this reality, this inexplicable truth, it is that which cannot be talked about. It is all pervasive, it is eternal, it is all knowing, it is most ancient, it is unborn and undying. Such is this principle. So, how do you discriminate about that about which you cannot have any thoughts? First problem. How can you contemplate on that which you cannot think about? So, and this is the beauty of our scriptures, that even that which cannot be thought about, they have brought it into the purview of our mind, as if so that we can take certain supports, we can take certain enquiries, we can take certain contemplations, we can do certain sadhanas. Pancadasi is not about what you call a particular sadhana where you have to focus on the body or on the breath or on the mind. No. Nowhere in Pancadasi it is said that you have to do anything of these sorts. Just like nowhere in the Bhagavad Gita we see Arjuna doing any sadhana, isn't it? All he did was he listened, and the transformation came about. We take Bhagavatam, we see Parikshit. For 7 days he listens to the Bhagavatam from the mouth of the great sage Shukacharya. We don't see him doing any sadhana. He hears stories after stories after stories about the Lord and the devotees of the Lord and what practices they did. And at the end of 7 days, he had conquered death. Conquered death does not mean that he will not die. Conquered death means he is not afraid of death. Conquered death means that he has come to realize that he can never die, because he has been cursed that at the end of 7 days he is going to be killed. He is going to be bitten by a snake, and that will bring about his conclusion. When the snake comes and bites, he bites a dead body because the student, the Parikshit Maharaj, he has transcended the identifications just while listening. That joy, that focus, and that focus is not about that I appreciate, yes, appreciation is required, but at the same time the acute awareness that is required, that should not be postponed. It must be practiced while we are listening. So let that be this practice. We have listened, we have done Panchadashi before. This chapter we are taking again after a long time. We have listened to these thoughts many times, but now while listening to these thoughts, let the attention always be on that principle because of which listening is possible. So you listen, keep your mind open to the words that are coming and making an impact on your eardrums or on your mind, but you remain aware. One part of your mind, you should be aware that on that because of which the thoughts are forming or the sounds are being recognized, or the forms are being recognized. Keep, while listening, while seeing, while talking, you can ask questions also, but keep your attention always on that. So let that be our focus. So the mantra that is taken here is Tattvamasi, that thou art. So what is this that the teacher is saying that you are, and that will be the discrimination taken and established. Whenever we contemplate on something very deeply, for example, we concentrate every night very deeply on going to bed and we find ourselves in the bed. Then we concentrate very deeply on the sleep and we find ourselves sleeping. When we contemplate very deeply on food, we find ourselves in the kitchen and eating something or hogging something, isn't it? Sometimes it's an unnatural demand, sometimes it's a desire, and sometimes it's a natural manifestation of that. Like hunger and all is natural manifestation. So similarly, when we expose ourselves deeply to the contemplation of the truth, if this is our experience in our empirical life, that whenever we think about something deeply, we come to do that, come to be that. I can't think deeply about food and I become one with the food by putting it inside me, isn't it? Joy thinks deeply about art. She likes certain picture. She becomes one with it and she creates the canvas. The sleep becomes one with you because you think so deeply about it. So if you think deeply about the truth, not superficially, not casually, but joyfully, longingly, with awareness, all the different things that are required, then maybe it is a possibility that that truth about which you are thinking deeply will become one with you. How it will become, that's not our job. You think of sleep, and when sleep becomes one with you, that's not your problem. You only think. And when thinking stops, afterwards you realize that the sleep is with you, one with you, or you were one with the sleep, isn't it? Same way, it might be possible that we can come to abide in the truth. And in this way, to come to to come to this truth, there are four things that need to be handled, and that is, until and unless we are not clear what is jiva, what is individuality, what is totality, the Ishvara, what is Jagat, what is the world, Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, and their relationship therein. Meaning, what is the relationship between individual and the Ishvara, what is the relationship between individual and the world, what is the relationship between the God, the Ishvara, the total principle, and the world, and what are the sadhanas or contemplations that can take us beyond that. See? So Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, these three are complementary to each other. They are not independent of each other. For who? For the individual. And when we contemplate and recognize that Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, these are all three superimpositions on that reality, nay, that reality itself is expressing as these three as if one comes to a state, comes to abide in something which is beyond these three, and there the grace flows. Not that the grace is not flowing now because you are listening to the satsang, or I am giving the satsang, or you are contemplating and doing sadhana. Grace is flowing even now, but at that stage of depth of contemplation, the grace is evident. The grace is your direct experience. That grace is your aparoksha anubhuti. There is no support required in order to experience that you are that. Tattvamasi, you are that. That you are, that's how it says. So how do we do this analysis? How do we come to this conclusion that what this substratum is, what are the various obstacles, how to overcome them and reach that ultimate goal which the jiva has to reach? This constitutes the subject matter of this Panchadashi. And the following 14 chapters are elaboration. So this Tattvamasi, you are that, is the basic tenet, is the defining thought, principle, statement of truth that is being presented to us. And everything else, the rest 14 chapters are nothing but an attempts by the teacher Vidyaranya Swami to make us recognize that we are that I am that, through various technologies, thinking technologies, by taking various examples. So subject matter is what? Subject matter is you have to recognize that you are that reality, you are that Brahman. So before he begins, as any text or Upanishads or anything, the first thing here Vidyaranya Swami does is invoke his what?
Shanti
No Shanti Path here. Invoke his teacher, offer his salutations to the teacher. So he says, Namah Shri Shankarananda, Namah Shri Shankarananda, Guru Padambu Janmane, Guru Padambu Janmane, Savilasa Mahamoha, Savilasa Mahamoha, Graha Grasaika Karmane, Graha Grasaika Karmane. Here it says, Namah Shri Shankarananda, salutations to the lotus feet of Shri Shankarananda, whose only undertaking is to destroy the primordial shark of delusion along with its manifest effects. So, Namah Shri Shankarananda. Who is this Shankara? He is Ananda Swarupa. Whoever is, it could be Shankaracharya, it could be his teacher. Is he talking about the Shankaracharya and calling him Shankarananda? We don't know. To the lotus feet of Sri Shankarananda, whose only undertaking, the purpose of a guru, I'm not saying a person, it could be a person, it could be a statue, it could be the Lord, it could be your father, it could be your mother, it could be whoever. It could be a situation, it could be an event in your life. The purpose of Guru is only one. What is that? To remove the ignorance from your life and bring about joy and happiness. That's what it is all about. So here he says, whose only undertaking is to destroy the primordial shark of delusion along with its manifest effects. So what is the, how does the delusion and effects come? First is ignorance, then comes first is avidya, then comes karma and karma. So the original source is the self-forgetfulness. And that self-forgetfulness then leads to projection. So what is karma and karma? That is the projection. Why did that projection come about? Out of ignorance. Whenever we forget our own essential nature, then that energy has to go somewhere. The attention has to go somewhere. It will go outwards. It will go to something else. So if I am not able to see the infinite in and through the names and forms, then it will go to the names and forms. If I am not able to be aware, steadily aware of the conscious principle who is, because of whom the eyes are seeing, because of whom the ears are hearing, because of whom the tongue is speaking, mouth is speaking. If I am not aware of that conscious principle, then where will the attention go? It will go to the forms, it will go to the sounds, it will go to the speech, isn't it? Because it has to go somewhere. See? And this is the trap that we fall in. Why? Because of self-forgetfulness. Self-forgetfulness means I have become unavailable to myself. This is self-forgetfulness. Don't imagine that I am not becoming, I have forgotten the self. Arey, you are the self. It's not some other object we are talking about. We are talking about you. You are present right here. It's not an imaginary idea that we are talking about. So forgetting the self means I am not remembering myself as I am. When? Right now. Not yesterday or tomorrow. Right now. And the moment we stop being aware of who we are, that very moment the projection begins and obstacles start manifesting. Huh.
Why do scriptures talk about us focusing on the formless?
They don't say only formless.
Formless. When the whole creation is come from the formless or come from the God, why we have to focus on something we even mind cannot understand? Why can't we find it, the God aspect of it in the forms?
His question is, why can't we find God in the forms? Is that your question?
Yeah.
Why we have to concentrate on the formless,
Which the mind can't even perceive.
which cannot even think about? That is why, what did we say? We have to understand who is Jeev, who is individual, who is Ishvara, God, principle, what is the Jagat, that is the world, and what is the relationship between these three. We are living blindly. We are living blindly. If you want to experience the world as God, then do it. Nobody is stopping. Have you been able to recognize the world as God at the moment, after so many years of your life? But there is a wish that I must get to that point, isn't it? The wish will be only fulfilled when you come to realize yourself. It will not happen outside in. It will happen inside out. Remember this. Because When you are looking outside, the variety is many. To become focused, to become concentrated, to become single pointed, to become steady, very difficult. The senses cannot become steady, the breath cannot become steady, the hunger doesn't become steady, the thoughts don't become steady because of the continuous stimuli that are coming and bombarding us. So, to what your thought is true. Why can't we realize God in the world? We can, but the way to recognizing that is through inside, not outside. It requires a change of vision, and for a change of vision, a change of conviction is required. For a change of conviction, some purity is required, isn't it? Analysis is required. Some people do it through analysis, some people do it through invoking the energy, some people do it through devotion, that also invokes the energy. So nobody is denying that world is not divine. But the world which you see, the various forms, that is becoming an obstacle in you or anyone recognizing the world to be divine. See?
Is it the same as what Baba quoted? Knowledge of the self forms a basis of
All the things. And that's what we will see in this chapter. Who is this Jiva? Who is this Ishvara? Who is this? What is this world? So that we can place them correctly, rather than get lost in our imaginary idea of God. So many people are having their own concepts of God. But what is God really? That is important to be addressed, isn't it? Salutations to the lotus feet of Guru Maharaj Sri Shankarananda, Shankara, who brings all auspiciousness in our lives, who is Aishwarya Yukta, who is able to transfer glory of self to those who surrender at his feet. So who is this Shankarananda? He is not other than the Lord. Who is this Lord? Who is not other than the Self. Who is this Self? Who is not other than the Brahman, the reality. So, if you put therefore the importance of Guru in our life, you put your mind totally surrendered at the feet of the teacher. That does not mean the literal feet. It means the principles, the values, the knowledge, the abidance in which he is steeped in. You put your attention. The grace will flow. Those people who surrender to Lord Shiva, you find those qualities of Shiva starting to manifest in that devotee. Those devotees who surrender their mind and heart to the Lord Narayana, Lord the maintainer, preserver, those qualities start manifesting through that devotee. If that devotee is placing his mind at the feet of Krishna, Krishna type qualities start manifesting. A person, and how do you know this? You see the children who surrender their heart and mind at the feet of Michael Jackson. They start dancing like them, they start talking like them, they start rapping like him, they start dressing like him, they start talking like him. It's seen. Or see today's girls, any these models that are going on, they have got interested in a certain model. I want to be like that. Then they also become anorexic. They also wear the same clothes. They also talk like that. They also move their hands like that. Ditto. There's no uniqueness, because they have taken that person to be their ideal. It's not the form. Form is for focus. Form is for concentrating your mind. But whatever the form you concentrate, the qualities of that form, the ideals of that form, the principles of that form, the characteristics of that form, they will start getting imbibed in you. And so also, if you were attracted to your mum or dad, those qualities, depending upon what was your intensity of relationship, those qualities start expressing through you. You people say that you speak like your father. People say you look like your father. People say you walk like your father. Someone says, oh, he's got the oomph like his mother, or he is a chef like his mother, or he is a manager like his father. He thinks like his father does. People say that about in every family. This type of topic is discussed. So why has it happened? Because for a child, initially mother is the guru, and afterwards father is the guru. And slowly then, as they become teenage and youth, they find someone else where their mind gets attracted. So what is the worthy goal? Find a guru. And who is this guru? He is the ultimate, Shankarananda. He is not other than the infinite reality himself. Then what are the qualities of infinite reality? Whatever they may be. Let's not get into that right now. But the grace of that reality will start flowing towards you. I salute in all humility, in a spirit of total surrender. Surrender is dropping all efforts born out of individuality, sense of doership and ego. To whom is this surrender? Savilasa samahamoha graha grasaika karmane. To that Shankara, whose only pastime, Savilasa. Vilas is the pastime. Vilas is the sport. So what is the sport of Shankara? Only one. What is that? To work is to devour, graha, devour the shark of delusion. What does shark do? Attack here, attack there, eat this, eat that, create fear. And that is what delusion does to us in our life. We go into, just yesterday, this morning only, oh, I have to go to a different country. One girl was saying that I have to go to travel there, and I don't know how it will be, and it will be good if parents come, etc., etc. Why? Fear. This is how the delusion expresses itself. So what does this Shankara does? What does the grace do? It removes all the fears, it removes all the doubts, it removes all the suspicions, it removes all the desires. And makes you come and establish in yourself. Destroyal of primal ignorance of our own essential nature is Sri Shankara, and Ananda auspicious, plentiful and blissful. In this self I absorb myself by destroying and transcending my individuality born out of ignorance. Individuality is a product of ignorance. We all know that. We don't need to be convinced about it, isn't it? Yesterday I was with someone and just topic discussion was going on. The point was, why the grace is not flowing to us? We have been doing satsanga for so long, so many years. We have committed to this cause, we have committed to that cause. Wherever I go, there I begin the satsangs and, I have not done any bad to anyone else knowingly, then why the God's grace is not? I do my japa, I do my karma properly, I take the name of the Lord, huh? And I do regular satsang. Then why is the Lord's grace not flowing to me? Because it is at superficial level. The reality, the Shankara, the grace, which is equal to grace, it is not at the level of books. It is not at the level of sadhana. It's not at the level of meditation or nirvikalpa samadhi or japa or puja or doing good to the world. No. The grace is in spite of all this. It does not require any of these things. Why do we say this? Because I gave you the example of Arjuna, I gave you the example of Parikshit. They did not do anything. They just listen. They just listen. So, if we are going to satsang, or we have come to a point in our life, I have 20, 30, 40 years, I have come across so many great masters, I have been blessed by them, I have worked for them, I have seen their grace flow to us, they have been a great support to us in our life, and by God's grace or by that Guru's grace, satsang has also come into our life, isn't it? We have this feeling, but still that completeness is not there. There's still something lacking within my heart which is keeping me separate. There's still this feeling that I have not reached the ultimate goal, the ultimate destination. All this is good, that I have had grace, I have had the company of the great masters, good satsangs, things happen in my life, the right things happen at the right time, etc. I feel myself in harmony with creation, all that is good, but still there is an emptiness. Why is that emptiness still there? See? So have we become comfortable with that emptiness? That we have come to understand, oh, this emptiness is there, I don't know, I'll just keep plodding along, go to every satsang that is there, I go and touch the feet of every master who comes, and I have my guru, and I'll keep his photograph, and I will pray to him every day. You have created a status quo. You have to break out of this gravity. How long are you going to keep this Guru, Maharaj, outside of you? How long are you going to keep the Guru outside of you? Pancadasi is telling you, Tattvamasi, you are that. You are the source of all auspiciousness. You are the source of all blessings. Not as an individual, mind you, but essentially. So how long are we going to shortchange ourselves and be a beggar in life, asking, please God, please grace me, please. When are we going to take charge with this recognition that I am all that there is? See? If your thinking has sometime in your life gone in this direction, then you have to come out of your mechanical thinking. When we study the scriptures, we discuss, we argue, we talk about the same thought, the same examples, the same ideas, mechanically. We appreciate also mechanically. I also say it, same examples I say it, but it must Every time I say it, it must touch my heart. Something must shift there. Something must shift there. Then grace will flow. Then the grace will be recognized. Then the connection will become strong. Otherwise, you are out of the range when you are doing mechanically. We are comfortable to come to a satsang. We are comfortable to open a book in the morning. We are comfortable to sit in meditation for 1 or 2 hours. Stop becoming comfortable. Become uncomfortable. Only when you become uncomfortable, then the grace will flow. But if you become comfortable, I am doing good meditation, I can speak very well on any topic that is given to me, I do the japa, that I chant the name of the Lord, and I can sit for 2 hours chanting the name, you have become comfortable. Comfortableness will not bring you to yourself. We require friction. We require uncomfortableness. And nobody can give you that unless you don't become uncomfortable with regards to where you are in your life right now. If you have thought that, if you are thinking that your life is perfect right now, husband is in his place, wife is in his place, the breakfast, lunch, dinner are in their place, every Tuesday, Wednesday we go to satsang, that is in its place, then I do my yoga, that is in its place, then I do my meditation, that is, everything is organized. And without thinking, when it is Monday, you follow the routine. When it is Tuesday, you follow the routine. When it is Wednesday, you follow the routine. You have become comfortable. When you are comfortable, you have become mechanical. Get out of it. Let that mechanical, that routine is good, but in that routine, some uncomfortableness in the heart must be experienced. That, Lord, deliver me, man. Get me out of this. Enough. I'm trying to do the best. First you say, bring discipline to your life. Then today you are telling me, become undisciplined. What are you playing with me for? Because when we become uncomfortable in any situation, in any experience, in our thoughts, we come to recognize where we are still falling short. That is what happens. Because nobody is going to come and tell you. You have to discover yourself, isn't it? Where you are going wrong, where your thinking is going wrong, where your contemplation is going wrong. And maybe contemplation is not wrong, but only fine-tuning is required. And that fine-tuning will only come when you become uncomfortable with where you are. I finish my meditation. Oh, that was so wonderful. One lady says, Swamiji, when I am busy, and suddenly when out of that busyness I sit for meditation, I dive deep in meditation. I go very deep. Acha? And then, but when now I have holidays and I want to sit in meditation, I can't dive deep only, I am only on the surface. Why is this happening? That when I want to meditate, I am not able to meditate. I got all the time. I got days off for the whole week and I am not able to meditate. And when I am very busy, I don't have time. That time, out of that busyness, I find some time and I sit, boom, I am deep. Is the mind tricking you? See? So she has recognized some pattern in which the mind was functioning. And therefore this question came. So, what is this Tattvamasi statement? You are that. This Tattva, discriminating this Tattva, this essence, we have to discriminate in such a way that we recognize it as our own essential nature, not someone else's nature. What you were saying, whether you call it God or you call it formless and attributeless reality, you want to discover it in the world. You have to discover it as your own nature. When you discover it as your own nature, then you will have the vision to recognize the same reality pervading the entire creation. You cannot discover it outside. For whom and for what purpose is this text written? Repeat after me. Tat padam buruha dvandva. Tat padam buruha dvandva. Seva nirmala chetasam. Seva nirmala chetasam. Sukha bodhaya tattvasya. सुखबोधाय तत्त्वस्य विवेकोऽयं विधीयते कोऽयं विधीयते. Here he says, this discrimination of the reality is designed for the effortless comprehension of the truth for those who have cleaned their mind of all impurities by serving the lotus feet of the Guru. Now again, don't mistake, serving the lotus feet of the Guru is only serving a physical Guru. That is necessary, no doubt. No doubt. Some people serve the Guru by doing what he wished, but could not fulfill in his life. Certain things, they want to, in the name of the Guru, if they do it selflessly, fantastic. But they take the name of the Guru and they keep building ashrams or they keep building hospitals or they keep building. If it is an inspiration, great. But is that activity making you calmer in your mind? Is that activity being done as a karma yoga or is it being done as a desire? That was the wish of my Guru and therefore I must do it. You are caught in another web of desires. First it was your own desires, now it is your desires, but superimposed on the Guru. See? But if you do, if the Guru wished certain things to happen in your life, we are talking about a physical Guru, wished certain things to happen in your life, in his life, and he passed away, or he is still there, and you see that he wishes that, you do it not because you want it, not with a desire that Swamiji wished that and I must do it, and you create the whole world, all the people around you as your enemy because you want it. And you are very openly saying that I want it not for myself but for my teacher. This is not service to the Guru. God is also Guru, isn't it? God is also Guru. In the name of God, so many things happen in the world. So are they serving God? No. If they were serving, then grace must flow. And grace is not about how many temples you have built. Grace is not how many churches you have built. Grace is not how many ashrams you have built. Grace is not how many disciples you have. Grace is equal to how much peace is manifesting in your life. That is grace. How content you are with where you are at this moment. That is grace. Grace is how the moment you touch the bed you go to sleep. That is grace. See? So, tat padamburu ham buruha dvandva seva nirmala chetasam. Through this nirmala chetasa, through how this guru seva has to be done, the best guru seva, service to the teacher, is to bring about purity of your mind. That is the best service. Nothing in this world you can do which can satisfy the teacher or which will make him happy. He may prod you because he wants you to reach your destination. And if there is a virus that you want to do some good to the world, he will say, oh, go do some good, till you recognize that, arey yaar, where did I get caught myself? See? But true, the grace, the Guru Maharaj, the Guru principle can be recognized, can be appreciated. His grace can be cognized. How? By Nirmala Chetasa. Nirmala is, there is no mala. Mala means there is no impurity. That Chetasa is mind. That mind in which there is no impurity. Such a mind alone can appreciate the Guru. To such a mind alone, the grace comes. Sukha bodhaya tattvasya. And such a person, when he has that nirmala chetasa, then what happens? Sukha bodhaya. He experiences not through ignorance. You experience sukha in deep sleep also. That is abodhaya sukha. That is experiencing happiness under the purview of ignorance. Therefore, ignorance is bliss. But here it is written sukha bodhaya. Knowingly or with understanding, we should say that is better word. With understanding, you experience the joy. How? Nirmala Chetasam. This purified mind is able to experience this joy with understanding. How is understanding possible? Through thoughts, isn't it? But Nirmala Chetasa, thought is an aberration in the mind. It is a disturbance in the mind. You have already said Nirmala Chetasa. You have already said purified mind. Purified mind is zero thoughts. So how can understanding take place in a mind which is free of thoughts? That is wisdom. So this joy that such a mind experiences, such a person experiences, is the joy of wisdom. And what is that joy of wisdom equal to? Tat is equal to Tvam. Tat Tvam Asi is the statement of truth, isn't it? That thou art. So what is the wisdom that has brought about this joy? That is equal to thou. You is equal to that. That means that infinite principle is equal to the self that you consider yourself at this moment. Recognize this union. You have created a separation between you and the reality out of ignorance. And therefore, purify the mind so that this imagined ignorance, difference, that imagined separateness between the reality and yourself, that gets removed. And in this way, so the subject matter was Tattva Vivek, the one who is qualified to do this discrimination. The second point, the adhikari, the qualified person to do this discrimination is he who has nirmala chetasa, he who has a purified, undisturbed mind. Again, these impurities are of three types. They are the tamasic, rajasic and sattvic. How does the tamasic impurity express itself? As laziness, just now, sleep, dullness, and inertia is dullness. Three words we need in English. Nidra, alasya, pramad. Sleep, alasya is laziness, and pramad is inadvertence. Three things. This you must, it should go like a parrot, it should come out. Nidra, alasya, pramad. The tamas impurity expresses as nidra, sleep, alasya, laziness, pramad, inadvertence. Inadvertence is equal to repeating the same mistakes again and again in your life. Not learning from your mistakes. That is the first. So, to come out of this tamas, one must serve the teacher, one must become active. One person was there and he said to Swamiji that, Swamiji, I have for last 20 years, I'm an engineer, but I have not worked for 20 years. I got 4 children. My wife works. She's got a good post by God's grace. By God's grace, I got 4 children. They are also doing well. But I don't know, for last 20 years I have not worked. But now slowly I am feeling that I should work. But I'm not sure, is that the right thing? Why is this feeling coming? Will I get a job? Will I not get a job? Should I apply? Should I not apply? If I should apply, where should I apply? He was asking like this. Now imagine a person who has not worked for 20 years. How much lazy he must be. He may be doing lot of things in house, but the substratum is of laziness, non-responsibility. So Swamiji said, I'll answer your question, but no discussion, no argument. He says, okay Swami. He says, every day go from from Glen Waverley to city, go walking. And do this for next 6 months and then come back after 6 months. And that, he was a different kind. He followed. He started doing from the very next day. Every day. 20 kilometers going, 20 kilometers coming. After 3 months he called. Swamiji, you remember? Who are you? Who can't remember anything. But he said, I followed your instructions and I started doing, and I wanted to tell you that I got a fantastic offer and I have taken that job with such a good salary. It's all by your grace. So I said, okay, Hari Om. He kept the phone. Why? He got a job. Why did he come out of the laziness and the inertia that he was experiencing in his life? What did Swamiji do? Did he grace him in any way? It's good to feel that he graced, but what he actually did? He made that fellow to give up his laziness and start working. He created rajas in his life. Walking 20 kilometers going and 20 kilometers coming. You know how much energy is required? Automatically, more oxygen is going in, breathing is happening, mind is clearing of inertia, creativity will take place automatically. Moving water gathers no, rolling stones gather no moss. Isn't it? Keep moving in life. Never be a lazy person in life. Never be a lazy person in life. It's very easy to say, please give me a glass of water, please wash my cup, please drive me there, please do this for me, please do that for me. Very easy. But if you do it, that activity. The second one is, the second impurity, that when we become active, what is the second? Tamas, then it leads to rajas. So when we become rajasic, then what happens? We become inspired, we become enthusiastic, and we are unable to stop our or curb our enthusiasm. Then such a person who is unable to put a lid on his enthusiasm is excited as a result of the activity. He becomes a workaholic, and workaholics are a pain for everyone, isn't it? Rajas. So we have invoked the dynamism, but that dynamism needs to be approached in a proper manner. Don't become excited, don't become too enthusiastic. Keep it, approach it with a calm mind. And in this way, if you think that this enthusiasm, this excitement that is born as a result of activity, things start happening in your life. And if one thing leads to the other and you are just on the roll. You know, people say, I'm on a roll. I am with it, I am in the zone. We have to get out of that zone also only by invoking the grace of the Guru. Because this temporary excitement will also become no excitement. It's also temporary. You have to recognize the big picture. From tamas, you came, from inertia, you came into dynamism. That dynamism is creating excitement and joy. Because things are going the way you want them to go. Naturally. But a proper approach towards the dynamic life is also to be, you invoke the grace of the Guru, and by his grace, by service to the teacher, you will find a space within your heart and mind from which you can approach that work that you are doing in a proper manner without getting carried away by the work. Goal is not the work. Goal is to recognize yourself. Goal is to God realization. Goal is not work. Work is the means. Isn't it? Don't forget this. So in this way, the third impurity is when we, by the grace of the Guru, we have overcome the inertia, we have overcome the dynamism, then automatically, what is the third one? Sattva. What is sattva? That we do a lot of sadhana. We read a lot of books. We want to automatically from inside, a deep urge is there to know, to know, to know, to know, to know. We want to know all angles from which we can approach this reality. We want to. And we become a bookworm. I am one of those. We keep collecting books, and we read this, we read that, we read this. We know which person said what, when, where, and we are able to cross-reference and this reference and that reference about any topic. Fantastic! But it is still knowledge at the level of mind only, thoughts. Yes. So the more we read different types of books by different authors, the more we will get. What's the word? Thank you. The more we'll get confused. The more we'll get confused. Because while reading, our focus was not on their self. Our focus was on the information. If the focus is on the information, then comparison, discussion, answers are already there within us, within our heart, within our conscience. Because we are made up of that material called reality, isn't it? So such a person who is so addicted to the books, so addicted to knowledge, collection of knowledge, such a person is not able to become steady in knowledge. Steadiness doesn't come by studying books after books after books after books after books. Then how does steadiness in life come? How does steadiness come? Thank you. Steadiness of mind will only come while studying. Your attention is on the self. So your eyes are reading, your mind is contemplating on what is being taught, and you are absolutely aware that eyes are seeing because of me, the words are talking about me, the consciousness, the mind is contemplating and thinking how to come to know me. You have to be aware of that. Then steadiness will come. The grace does not come from the books. The grace does not come from the outside teacher. The grace only comes from the Guru Maharaj. And that Guru Maharaj is within, not other than you. So when your attention is focused on that, in spite of everything that is going on in your life, whether you call the reality, whether you call it God for the present moment, it's the one and the same thing, okay? Because who is God? I'm saying this for his benefit. Otherwise he is going into attributeless, formless reality, and what is the difference? God is he who knows that he created the creation, and that creation is under his control. And on the other hand, he knows he is formless and attributeless. That is the God. So in this way, so we have to prepare ourselves. How? That when we take a text, if at all you are taking, take one text. Don't one day here, one day there, one day this text, one day that text, one sentence here, another sentence there, another. It's a sign of a very distracted mind. Take one text, Gita or Panchadashi as we are doing, and you study it systematically. And as you are studying it, your attention, as I said at the beginning of the class today, your attention should be on the conscious principle. Your attention should be on being aware that knowledge is being gathered. Your attention should be on that everything that is being talked and analyzed in this few verses that we have taken till now is indicating that I am the one on whom the focus must be. Which one? The one who's invigorating the mind, who's invigorating the breath, who's invigorating the five senses, who's invigorating the body. Without that principle, this body, mind, intellect principle cannot function. So on that principle, because of whom this empirical form is functioning, be aware of that. Be aware of that. While studying, while thinking, while breathing. And if you go to a realized master, go to Shirdi Baba, go to those who are Sai Baba, go to Ammachi, such great masters, they'll give you the right treatment at that time if you become available to them. If you go there with the ego, I am a great devotee of this person, and I got a status, I get direct entry into his bedroom. The Swamiji leaves everything, and when I come, he gives me special attention. Does he get up when you come? He gets up when I come. So that is his sense of greatness. That is a journey of ego, man. You have seen that happen so many places, isn't it? Get out of that. But that is the treatment that fellow requires. So that his ego becomes so inflated that one day it crashes. One day Krishna and Arjuna, they were walking on the streets, and they saw a beggar. And the beggar was saying, please give me some alms, please give me some. Krishna says, go, your cow will die. He had only one cow, and Krishna blessed that, may your cow die. He moved ahead. He did not ask. Arjuna was confused. He did not ask any question. Kept watching, went forward. One businessman was there. He says, please bless me, Krishna. He says, may your business become 10 times more, generate more income. Then Arjuna could not resist. Why you are favoring the rich people and you are against the poor people? This is how the natural people speak, isn't it? Krishna said, you think? But Arjuna was not able to come to any conclusion. He said, Baba, the only thing that was coming between that poor fellow and me was that one cow. That cow is removed, he will become one with me. The only thing that was coming between the businessman and me was the money. I'll give him more money till he realizes that he is not able to, that his understanding shifts. So we must not compare why this person is behaving like this to me or why this person is behaving like that to me. Our problem comes when we start comparing. And why we are comparing? Because our attention is not on the witnessing. That is why. Our attention is not on the substratum. That's when comparison begins. That's when differences are created. In differences there is comparison. So in this way, the highest spiritual sadhana is seva bhav, an attitude of service. Through such seva, the mind gets purified and cleansed of three major mala impurities. So in this way, the tamasic impurities We are talking about Nirmala Chetasa, the qualifications of one to whom the grace flows, or who is a qualification of a seeker. And these impurities are of the tamasic, rajasic and sattvic type, and we have enumerated those three types. And here it says, highest spiritual sadhana is of seva bhav and attitude of service. Through such seva, the mind gets purified and cleansed of the three major impurities, which robs the seeker of much valuable time and opportunity. Pramada, inadvertence, nidra, excessive sleep, such a purified antakarana will be calm, contemplative and vigilant so as not to slip from the chosen path. Sukha bodhaya, for such a person this enquiry will bring the dawn of wisdom effortlessly. The real spiritual bliss is in wanting nothing, not even joy. Because wanting joy will create excitement, it will create desire. Let it all happen. Remain aware, remain aware. If at all you want to do, if you want to feel that you want to offer something, offer your mind to the Lord. Offer your mind to the self. You are the self. You cannot talk about your mind if you are not watching it, isn't it? Do you know right now the thoughts coming in your mind? Yes. How do you know? Because you are the watcher, you are the observer. So why do you keep saying that I am thinking?
Makes sense.
It's simple. But we forget this. This is called self-forgetfulness. We have trained ourselves so much that we forget that we are essentially the observer. We are essentially the witness. We are essentially the substratum in whose presence this mind, intellect, breath and body and senses are functioning and doing their various roles. Without you, the substratum, all these have got no meaning. Being aware of it while speaking, being aware of it while listening, being aware of it while talking, being aware of it while walking, that is the sadhana. Start practicing right now. So in this way, tat padamburu hadvandvam seva nirmala chetasam sukabodhaya tattvasya vivekoyam vidhiyate. Thinking in this manner is called discrimination. Vivekoyam vidhiyate. Discriminate in this manner, in this way. Imaginary discrimination is not required. This text, Pancadasi, you have seen other chapters also. Starting again. It teaches you how to think. This is the way to think. So what have we done? We have established what is the purpose. To know the reality. We have established who is qualified to know the reality. We have established that what are the obstacles to the reality. Isn't it? Systematically. And in this way, we continue to contemplate further how to discriminate, which will continue in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om. You sit quietly for a few minutes.